COG, what's going on? I had to take my morning ginger shots this morning. So I'm trying to learn to get into more healthier options besides like caffeine and all the coffees and stuff like that. I tend to want to like put a whole bunch of sugar in it and all type of things I don't need. So I'm trying to cut some of that out, trying to be more healthier, trying to lose some weight for sure. But we can talk about all the healthy stuff on another video. But I'm tuning in today to talk about, I guess give my testimony. And the whole point of this channel is to show my walk, give you insight on what I'm going through in hopes that, well, not even hopes, because I know that there's people out there who are going through similar things. And it always helps when people can see the light at the end of the tunnel, because they may be in a darker space than you, but if they see you come out, it gives them hope to keep going, don't stop, keep believing in God, and keep walking instead of stopping. And because we all know when you stop, you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. God blesses you when you keep moving, you walk through that fire, you walk through that darkness. So the end of 2025, and I'm giving these years because I'm not really too big on, I guess, years, but it's easier for people to kind of, I guess, keep up with the dates and stuff. But I'm more of like a seasons type of guy. I believe in seasons and things like that, not necessarily years and months and days. But once again, another video for another time. But the end of 2025, me and my wife were having some financial issues, not being able to pay the rent, not being able to keep up with some of the finances that we had due to income not being as much. I'm sorry, guys, I got a little, my throat been a little scratchy, which is why I was doing some of them ginger shots. But we haven't been able to keep up with some of the finances due to like money not being as haven't been abundant as it had been. So we had just enough. We was making just enough to pay for a lot of things that we had as far as rent, car notes, and things of that nature. So once we got hit with a little some financial burdens or whatever, we weren't able to make as many payments and things that we needed to make. And granted, thinking about this, guys, I mean, we had been good for years. And then just out of nowhere, we kind of got hit. Like, I'm a barber, so business was kind of very slow for some time. And my wife wasn't able to get overtime as much as she had been getting. So, a lot of money that we were getting that we were able to use to stay afloat definitely wasn't abundant anymore. And I'm glad that AC just went out. That's perfect. But it wasn't as abundant. So we ended up taking a huge hit. And what we came across was, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know, is like split rent, things like that. You can split your rent, and the company will pay your rent, and they split it, and then you pay them half, and then the other half towards the end of the month, stuff like that. So the renters that we were going through, the rental company, they had like their own system or whatever. So we did that, but we ended up getting behind on like that second part of the rent and trying to figure out how to make that payment. And usually they only hit you with a one-time fee, and you just kind of just catch up whenever you can. And but I'm guessing that it wasn't that anymore. Maybe, I'm not sure. To me, it would seem like they were trying to force us out. We had been there 3 years, but it seemed like they were just trying to force us out because they weren't trying to work with us. They weren't trying to really hear what we had to say or anything like that. And granted, it's a business, I get it. I'm not faulting nobody. But the situation was, we couldn't make the rent, and we knew that eventually we was going to get hit with an eviction notice. So, every day was like $100 fee. So you can only imagine going from $1,500, $100 fee, end of that month. I mean, you're looking at a good amount of money. So we weren't able to make those payments, and it really is an eye opener at the end of it all, because you start to realize, man, like God was really trying to move us out of that home for a while, because we were at the end of our lease. We didn't have to sign another lease, you know, but we were so scared to kind of make a move out of that home because, you know, our credit isn't where it need to be right now. And we're trying to really just making up all type of excuses as to why we should stay and stay another year, stay around and things like that. And we were just, you know, just not having faith in God, not having faith in what he put on our spirit. So we end up staying. We signed another lease, and January is when it kind of all fizzled out. You know, that, like I said, we weren't able to make that payment on the rent. So all of January, we literally just went from the 1st all the way to the 31st, not paying that rent, and like I said, that $100 fee every day. And then February hits, that's another first of the month. So you got $2,500 on the rent of the first of the month, plus whatever accumulated throughout January. And man, next thing you know, you looking at, I think we was looking at almost close to $5,000 having to make a payment just to stay and get back on good graces with the rental company. And, you know, we kind of made that decision like, man, we living in a townhome. At the time, it worked for us, but we have a large family. I have 7 kids. 2 of my younger kids were in the room with me and my wife. So, you know, it was always a stress and a struggle. And then you got the kids bunched up in rooms together. So we kind of just made that decision to just, you know, whatever happens, happen. We let them know, like, look, we can't pay the rent. We bowed out gracefully, but they still went ahead with the eviction notice. They did everything on their part, you know, to cover themselves. They sent out emails saying that they were going to go through the eviction. Eventually, they end up putting the eviction notice on the door. So, you know, throughout that time, you know, we were stressed out trying to figure out what we were going to do, not knowing how we were going to do it. Like I said, in our mind, in our natural mind, our natural flesh, we're thinking like we don't have any way to go, anywhere to go. We don't have any way to make this happen because our credit, a lot of places go off your credit, you know what I mean? Depending, I'm not sure if it's everywhere, but I know for sure, you know, where I'm at is credit based, you know what I mean? They don't care how much you make. We applied to, I think, one place before then, before we knew that we were going to get evicted. We applied to one place and we made the money. The money wasn't the issue. You know, they check the accounts, they approve everything. You make the necessary amounts a month. They check your bank account to make sure all that money is going in there that they need on their end. And we made the money, you know, but it's the credit. You know, our credit was shot just from missing payments on car notes and credit cards and things like that from towards the end of that 2025 year when we really hit that financial wall, you know what I mean? So, you know, February, we're just scrambling. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're stressed out. You know, I think during that month, man, no lie, from January to February, I might have gained almost 10, 15 pounds. Just, you know, stress eating and just the overall stress of not knowing where my family is going to go, not knowing if we're going to be on the street. You know, I don't have family where we can just go bunch up in the house. You know, a lot of my family, they have their own families and they're already at capacity. So I don't have anywhere to go. I know my wife is from Alabama. She has family in Alabama. So we would have, push come to shove, that's really what I was thinking, you know, just pack up, head to Alabama until we figure some things out. But, you know, that's my daughter. My oldest daughter's in high school. She has friends here, everything here for her, and she just hit 9th grade. So I really was trying to figure some things out for her as well. So we ended up starting the process of looking. A lot of places, like I said, we looked at one spot. They said the credit wasn't good enough. So at this point, we're back to back to not stressing, but at this point, we really are having faith in God. At this point, you know, at this point, we're past the stressful stage. At this point, it's nothing we can do. We're just figuring it out as we go, just day by day, just wherever God leads us, and we're just trying to just look anywhere. And I'm cutting my client. On one Saturday, I'm cutting my client. She brought her boys in. and she was telling me how she just had moved closer to where I'm at. And I'm like, yeah, well, where? And, you know, she let me know it's like 15 minutes further down. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm asking, like, well, who do you rent through? God led me to ask, because I usually don't like to dive deep into a lot of my clients. I don't want to call it personal business, but, you know, a lot of things that they got going on, I try to just stick to, hold on, CLG, I'm trying to get this right. I like to stick to, you know, just regular conversation. No need to be digging into people's personal lives and stuff like that. But God led me to definitely look into, just ask her about, you know, who is the rental company, who she went through and things like that. And she ended up letting me know, and she was like, oh, it was an easy process. You know, so far so good. She had nothing but good things to say about him. So at that time, I think I had just got done cutting one of her sons. So I heard me text my wife the name of the rental company, letting her know everything. And I told her, hey, jump on it. My spirit said, let's jump on this. Let's figure this out. See what they got on the website. So she instantly texted me back. She was like, oh my God. You know, she has my older daughter's godparents. Her mom, her godmother, told her about this company because that's who they ran through. And my wife just never really looked into it too much. She kind of just, you know, she looked at it and, you know, just kept it pushing. Like, oh, okay, you know, that's cool. And so it was kind of funny how those kind of lined up. But she sent me over like 5 houses without the prices. She just sent me the pictures of the front of the homes. And man, I just told God to just lead my spirit, and I chose one. I sent it to her. I said, this is the one. We're not gonna go back and forth. Go ahead, put in that application, or whatever the application fee is. Go ahead and just go through with it and see what they say. Of course, it comes back, you know, that we weren't able to get it because of our credit. So we ended up having to get a guarantor, but I'm saying that all to say too, because the person who we reached out to with the company, she was all in on us. You know what I mean? She was ready to help us out. Like, look, if y'all can get a guarantor, I'm gonna push this through. Whatever it is, just get the guarantor, and everything else I'm gonna push through. So that just lets you know, man, God is gonna, in your time of need, God is gonna use people around you to help get you where you need to be, where He wants you to be. And, you know, so we got the guarantor, and even with the guarantor, you know, it's my wife's great aunt. And she knew for a fact, she like, look, y'all don't never ask for nothing. Y'all don't never ask for anything. So I know for a fact y'all just need some help right now. And God led her to just be the guarantor for us, you know. So she got on the lease and everything was pushed through. The lady with the rental company, I mean, she did everything she said she was gonna do. We got denied, but she put a hold on it so that nobody can still look at the home. She waited until we got the guarantor. Once we got the guarantor, she pushed everything through just like she said she would. Everything through. And not only that, first month rent was free. That first month rent, so we got a month free of rent that gave us a little space and a little buffer. So that was a blessing. We've been here for about a month. And everything, honestly, is almost 2 months, I feel like. February, March. Yeah, it's going on 2 months because it just hit April. So it's going on 2 months, and I'm telling you, man, God is such a blessing. God is amazing. God is so amazing at COG, because we went from a 3-bedroom townhome to a 5-bedroom. So now all my kids have not their own rooms, but they have rooms now to where they can, it's like 2 kids to a room now. And me and my wife have our own room. The kids have a loft to play in. We have a beautiful backyard. Let me show y'all. So, beautiful backyard. We didn't have a backyard before, and we've been wanting a yard for a while. Like, we just weren't able to find a home with the yard. And it is all for the same price that we were paying with the townhouse. So, I say all that to say, when God is leading you to do something, do it. Because you're just going to add extra stress, extra baggage to what it is that you already got going on. It would have December 2025. If we would not have signed another lease for January, and we would have just went with what God was telling us and not sign on and leaving, we would not have an eviction right now. We won't have to go through that process. But I'm still believing God is going to bless that process as well. But whatever's on your spirit, COG, go with it. God is moving, and He's moving on your behalf right now, and He wants you to tap in and listen to Him. You gotta listen. You gotta not just listen but act. You know what I mean? Because you can listen to your spirit all day. You know what I mean? I felt things on my spirit to move. My wife felt things to move, but we didn't act on it. So when you get in your spirit, move, act on it, keep it pushing, and actually make some moves so that God can bless you, and He's gonna show you. You know what I mean? It may not be right away as soon as you act on it, but keep moving, keep showing God that you're actively listening to what He's saying. And this is definitely a season for a lot of you where people are going to step in and show out for you. God is going to use people to show out for you. We weren't able to make it on our own. God had to bring people in to help make this happen for us. And He's going to do the same for you. He's going to make it happen for you. So you have to listen, and you have to be diligent in your faith, and you have to act on what it is that God is putting on your spirit. I still got a lot of things going on that I'm looking for God to bless and to touch, but throughout these situations and throughout these times, it's easier to have faith in those situations because of these situations. Because God shows that He's always going to come out, and He's always got you. He's never going to leave you forsaken. He's always going to come to your rescue when the time comes. So these are those times that I may look at certain situations still that I have pending, and I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna get through that or what I got to do for that. But hey, He got me here. He's gonna get you there too. You just have to have faith because He's already got you to this point. He's already got you through some things, and He's got you to this point. So now you just have to be diligent, act on what it is that's in your spirit, and He's gonna move and get you to the next point. Everything is about seasons. Everything is about season. When one season ends, another season ends. And that's with nature. After summer, it has to be fall. After fall, it has to be winter. After winter, it has to be spring. Those orders are for a reason. God works in the same way. After one season ends for you, there has to be another season. It has to be. And He's always going to prepare you for those seasons. He's never going to leave you lacking. Now, if you don't do certain things in preparing for certain seasons, because He'll tell you, hey, look, you about to go through some stuff, you may want to prepare, you know what I mean? And sometimes we can ignore. So, but God, it's always another season. There's always light in the tunnel, COG. And I'm a living witness right now that whoever's going through eviction, whoever's going through being put out, they don't have nowhere to go. They stand with family that trust in the Lord, trust God, and He's always going to come out for you. You keep praying, stay on your knees. I mean, I'm talking about cry out to the Lord and go out and look right now. Get up and go out and look and start looking. Start asking God to lead you. Apartments, homes, whatever it might be that God has placed on your heart. Go look. Go look. Go look. If you're at a shelter, you living with somebody, or you about to get evicted, you don't know how you're going to make the payments on your house or your apartment, trust in God, and He's going to make it happen. I'm a living witness, and not only is He going to make it happen, but it's going to be better. It's going to be better. It's going to be better for you. It's going to be better for your family, for your kids, your husband, your wife, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. God going to make it happen for you. You just got to keep your knees on that ground, keep your faith, and keep crying out to Him, and He going to make it happen for you, COG. I love y'all. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay faithful. Whatever God put on y'all spirit, make sure y'all act on it quickly. Do not waste no time. Quickly act on it. I love y'all. Till the next video, I love you.